Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change by Amber Heard. Apparently, she didn't write the title or this article, but this is the article that Johnny Depp is suing her for $67 million to $100 million. Amber Heard is an actress and ambassador on women's rights at the ACLU. I was exposed to abuse at a very young age. I knew certain things early on without ever having to be told. I knew that men have the power physically, socially, and financially, and that a lot of institutions support that arrangement. I knew this long before I had the words to articulate it, and I bet you learned it young too. You know, I got abused by a man and a woman, so I can't just put it on one sex. Like many women, I had been harassed in my childhood. I had been harassed and sexually assaulted by the time I was at college age, but I kept quiet. I did not expect filing complaints to bring justice, and didn't see myself as a victim. Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. The full force, the full force of the culture. I wasn't mad about you speaking out. If violence had happened to you, don't stay in an oppressed situation. Don't stay in an oppressed situation where a man is hitting and beating you up. There's a situation in Pueblo where the lady kept saying there's a man that was stalking her and nobody's heard anything about her. And then the man, shooting her and killing her. Now she's dead. She filed, the complaint. She had the restraining order and everything. So, talk about the culture's wrath. If anything, the culture, the system, filed the papers, but just didn't give a damn. So I think that's maybe the bigger thing here. And this was right at the Me Too, so there could have been, some of that Harvey Weinstein apparatus. Friends and advisors told me I would never work again as an actress, that I would be blacklisted. A movie I was attached to recast my role. I had just shot a 2-year campaign as the face of a global fashion brand, and the company dropped me. Questions arose as to whether I would be able to keep my role of Mira in the movies Justice League and Aquaman. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. So I think this is all about Johnny Depp, right? This is all about Johnny Depp. Imagine a powerful man as a ship like the Titanic, and that ship has a huge enterprise. When it strikes an iceberg, there are a lot of people on board desperate to patch up holes, not because they believe in or even care about the ship, but because their own fates depend on the enterprise. In recent years, the Me Too movement has taught us about how power like this works, not just in Hollywood, but in all kinds of institutions, workplaces, places of worship, or simply in particular communities. In every walk of life, women are confronting these men who are buoyed by social, economic, and cultural power, and these institutions are beginning to change. We are in a transformation. So I was abused. I'm wondering, was it the culture? Was it power? I mean, they had power to do the thing and then to cover up the crime and then tell everybody else that nothing was happening. So, I mean, for me, it just seems like people just don't give a goddamn flying fuck about anybody else. If she is getting some shit because she spoke out, well, that's unfortunate because, that's bullshit. Not just unfortunate, it's fucking bullshit. Fuck a criminal doing criminal shit. I'll read some more of this. I want to start this discussion off first. AOC and Crystal Ball. AOC and Crystal Ball, they got two completely different perspectives about violence. And it's, I guess that's where we begin. That's where we'll begin because AOC, being part of the woke mob, she wants to use the word violence in situations that it's where there's not violence. But she wants to call it violence so that way you could say, hey, that's not really violence. You're just saying something's violence and that's not violence. Okay, you're saying it's serious and you're making a rhetorical point. But Jimmy Dore said, fuck you, to AOC online. So he made a video sitting in his home in California but he was mad about AOC's policies as a politician, and so he said, fuck you. No, fuck you. I don't like your policies. I don't like the direction that you're sending America, so fuck you. Now, AOC is going to say that that's violence, that is violence. So is Jimmy Dore going to get locked up for, violence against a congresswoman? And then you had January 6th, which I'm glad they're actually doing something about it, because that was real fucking violence, right? Some other real violence is when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. So Will Smith, slapped Chris Rock. There was one report where they had Johnny Depp held Amber Heard's hair and then slapped her 3 times. Now that's what the words say, so, you have to use your imagination on how it actually went down. But is that violence? I mean, if Crystal Ball, she said when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock, oh, come on, guys. That wasn't an assault. Everybody calm down. That wasn't a real assault. That wasn't a real... You can't get more of a real assault than that. So for Crystal Ball, real violence isn't violence at all. And for AOC, non-violence is violence. Can we have a balance between the two? Can we kind of meet in the middle a little bit here? Because that's such a... For a person who has never had to experience violence, yeah, I guess, well, that's violence there. That's violence there. It's all violence, right? Yeah, you never experienced violence, motherfucker, and it's fucking bullshit. And if you're, since I was young and vulnerable, I couldn't just tell the other person to stop, so I was very much dependent on other people to protect me. So, if you've ever had to endure real fucking violence, it's every fucking day, it's mean, it's cruel, it's shitty, and it's being done by criminal motherfuckers that don't have a heartbeat. They love to hurt people. They love to put their hands on other people to give them pain. It's sadistic, and it's mean, and it's a cult of death, and it's fucking terrible. So when we just go around saying, well, that piece of paper that you said the thing was violence, is it possible words can be violence? If it's possible, then that means his, lawsuit about the Washington Post op-ed is totally 100%, right? Words can be violence. So, by, I just think that the two different things, Jimmy Dore saying, fuck you, not violence whatsoever. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, totally fucking violence. Totally violence. Who didn't get smacked? You know who did get smacked? And then we're going to say that the violence isn't violence, but the shit that isn't violence, now that shit that's not violence, that's the real violence. That's fucking stupid. That's fucking dumb as shit. Crystal Ball, that isn't assault, that's violence, that's bullshit. That's real violence. If, Crystal Ball got slapped, if AOC got slapped, I mean, what do you think right now when I tell you that Johnny Depp held on to Amber Heard's hair and slapped her 3 times? Don't you dare do that to me again in public. That feels like violence to me. That feels like violence to me. So that's real fucking violence. Right? Or not, Crystal Ball. Which is it? Which is it? But I mean, I guess we can all just take different perspectives and shit. But what the fuck? Can we get a little bit on the same page here? So, unfortunately, I think Johnny Depp is guilty. I think he's guilty. I think Amber Heard could be guilty too. But Johnny Depp is guilty. There's this article with The Sun that pointed out like a whole bunch of shit that Depp has done, throughout the years. And there's even one picture where he severed his finger. And he says that she threw a glass bottle at him and it severed his finger. Now, there's a couple audio tapes where she's not, saying very well. She's like, well, I can't promise you that I won't be violent again. Which is interesting. Amber Heard says, I can't promise that I won't be violent again. You can be just as violent as anybody else out here. And then she was mocking Johnny Depp. What, you, a big man? Like the police are going to believe you. And that's the fucking game we got to play, right? What? She hit you, so he has to get humiliated over and over again because she humiliated him. She hit him, used real violence. He doesn't want her to do that. She doesn't care. She loves to hurt people. It's how my abusers hit me, because to get out their aggression. It was just a fun way to get out their aggression. The world shit on them, so they were going to shit on other people. So, I can identify with Depp and his sister when they said that they, had shit like that happen to them and they weren't ever going to repeat that kind of behavior. And then we're supposed to reassure one another that of course you're awful. Of course you could be awful. And then maybe it's just taken out of context or some shit. I don't know. But Johnny Depp, he's from Owensboro. I'll come back more with Johnny Depp and